Yeah. My streams actually blew up in Korea.
Oh, really?
Like the last stream I did was a cooking stream, and I was like making pasta or whatever, just talking and drinking wine, and someone posted it on Naver. Like they took GIFs of my stream and posted it on Naver, and then like 20 other websites in Korea posted it, and it just got like hundreds of thousands.
That's
of
what
views.
it is to be a pretty person, dude. I'll tell you that. If I did a cooking stream, ain't nobody watched that shit. It's like, that's just a fat dude cooking food, man. That's all that it really is. What the fuck? That's crazy. Yeah, I wonder what it's like to be pretty, dude. Sometimes, man, like it's like it's so funny because I always clown my friend Gio about this shit, right? So we were having this like heart-to-heart conversation, and she's just like, yeah, you know, like people were kind of talking about like stuff that they went through when they were a kid,
right? And
she goes, yeah, you know, like a lot of people think it's like, you know, pretty girls get it the easiest, and I just go, oh my god, right? And she's like, just fucking call yourself pretty. She's like, I know you're gonna say that shit, fuck you, David, you know. No. But you know, it's so interesting because the world does treat pretty people way differently. And you know, we see the good side, but there's also that bad side too, just because, you know, that jealousy factor is so fucking huge. Because they'll say some shit like on the lines of, oh, she's pretty, but I bet you she's a bitch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Totally.
She's pretty, but
you know, there's
she's
funny
dumb.
because I always see this quote on Facebook that's like, oh, best friends, you know, when best friends talk, I can't remember it fucking right now, but basically along the lines of like best friends now would look back and say, oh, when I first saw you, I thought you were a bitch kind of thing. And they're like, oh yeah, that's so funny. But I'm just like, no, like I was friends with someone, not like best friends or good friends, but we were becoming friends. And we were at the bar drinking one night, and she was like going off about like, yeah, when I first saw you, I thought you were a bitch, like all this stuff. Like I didn't want to even talk to you. And I was like, fuck you. Like you don't even know me. Like what kind of person are you? You know? And after that, I was just kind of like, I don't really want to hang out with you anymore. Cause like, I get it, but like, I mean, she was just going in on it, you know? And I was just like
because a lot of the things, you know, shit, we're gonna wrap this, but I gotta say this stuff. But you know, the weird thing. So let me just tell you the story about in college. So when I was in college, when I had a girlfriend my first year, mind you, dweeby fat kid, whatever. But I don't know what it was about the way that I grew up. Like, yeah, I fucking like looking at pretty girls and shit, whatever. You know, fat ass, fat titties, whatever. You know, just normal ass fucking you know, teenage kid. But something about either the way that I was raised or whether it was because the way my mom raised me, the way somebody looked didn't really, as much as other people, affect how I treated somebody, right? And it was just because I think I started to grow up and realize when I was a kid, when you're younger, you like to hang out with people based on how they make you feel or the social currency that you get from somebody, right? So I'm in this group, I become the cool guy, makes me feel good, whatever. Slowly, probably when I was like 17 or so, I just started saying, fuck that shit. I don't need that stuff anymore. I just want to be around good people. No matter if they were different, if they were dweeby, nerdy, some of them were thugs. I just wanted to be around people that had my back all the time, right? And so because of that, I think I had this mentality of, I don't give a fuck what you look like. Who are you as a person?
Yeah, 100%.
So there was this chick. She was she was like a high school cheerleader or whatever one, and this one went to UCR. And when we were in the dorm, mind you, number one, I didn't even think she was that fucking cute, but she had a really nice body. I think that's why everybody fucked with her, right? So every time she would walk into a room, guys come in, how are you doing today? You know what I mean? Like, oh, and every time she said something that wasn't even fucking funny, you know, and at the time I had a girlfriend who I thought was the world to me, so I could give a fuck less about her. So one day we're chilling, you know, in the dorm, we're all hanging out, and she just looks at me and she goes, "Why don't you like me?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't dislike you. Yeah. She goes, yeah, you don't like me. And I'm like, she's like, you kind of like just walk by. You don't really like talk to me or anything. Like you talk to everybody else. And I was like, no, I talk to you the same amount as I talk to everybody else. I don't know what you're talking about. There's people I talk to more because they're I'm growing closer to them. Right. Like we connect. Yeah. But I don't get what you're saying. I was like, well, give me an example. She goes, well, like yesterday, like I was in the hallway. You know, I was chatting it up. I said hi to you. You said hi and you walked by. And I was like, yeah. So what did I do? Yeah. Right. She goes, nothing. You just like don't really talk to me. And I'm like, oh, I know why now. It's because you're used to people giving you special attention. Right. That's why. Mm-hmm. You're used to a guy coming up to you, laughing at everything that you're saying. They just think that you're the fucking funniest shit on earth, which you're really not.
Yeah.
So that's the type of typical treatment that you're used to. So when I treat you like a normal person, because I could give a fuck less about you, and plus you really weren't my type. You know what I mean? You had fucking no ass. You know, at the time I like ass at the time. You know what I mean? So you're not my shit. You know what I mean? So for her, she kind of equated me treating her like a normal person as somebody who just didn't like her at all because everybody else was trying to fuck her.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And so I was like, oh. And then, you know, for her, she's like, well, you're like the dweeby fat guy. You should be fawning over me. You know? I'm like, nah, not really. Like, lady, like you and I grew up differently. You know what I mean? I grew up around lady with big tits and big asses. Like, that's what I like. You're a fucking flat-chested little tiny girl. Like, that's not my shit. Also, you're kind of a bitch. So
yeah.
I think like that's where sometimes that bitch attitude comes in because there are girls like that who are used to being treated a certain way that when they don't receive that type of treatment, they feel funny about it, right? Yeah. And it sucks too. And there's also this other like flip to it where sometimes girls, when they see a pretty girl, they want to be that girl, right? And so when they see you, they automatically think bitch because it makes them feel good about themselves. They go, well, if I look like that, I wouldn't be like her, even though they don't even know who you are.
Yeah, yeah, totally. It's just like when people like do. I mean, I guess you know, I'm sure everyone has done it at some point, but like. I just don't want to be around that kind of negativity, like people like that just jump to conclusions or like
for sure
do things like that. So that's why I cut her off. But
damn, but you just like slice.
Yeah, I was like,
so you are Korean, dude. That's some Korean ass shit right there.
Wrongs me. It's just like poop out of my life. I don't look back. I don't give a fuck.
You're gonna meet a lot of people like that though, because even for me too. Like I think a lot of people when they first meet me, that's kind of my fault though, because I'm very honest and open.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, I think people get scared by that, and so they think, oh, kind of an asshole. Which I'm actually completely okay with it. Yeah. Because I'm just like, you're right. I am kind of an asshole. You know, you're 100% right. It's just I'm an asshole to you because I don't fucking like you.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
You're just gonna see that a lot. I think. I'm just kind of growing to be a little bit more empathetic now. It's like okay, like I can see where you're coming from, why you would think that, but. If they're like that 24/7, it's kind of hard to deal with. Yeah.
I'm generally really like nice. I just was raised to be polite all the time and just like, you know, give people benefit of the doubt. And like, I'm always just pleasant. Like I'm always chill and nice or to anyone. Like you said, it doesn't matter who they look like. But
it's hard though, because like I said, from somebody's outside perspective, they see you. You're a very beautiful woman. Oh. You're tall. Giant, you know, you know, and it's daunting sometimes, right? Like when Mariel first met Gio, the first thing Mariel said constantly when we got back home, she goes, "Wow, she's really pretty," and she couldn't stop saying it. And I'm like, "Well, you keep mentioning how pretty she is. And, you know, Gio's fucking beautiful, right?" But there's this thing when sometimes I feel like when girls see another girl that's just ideally beautiful, it makes them almost feel bad about themselves.
Yeah, I get that. I mean.
Because when I look at a fucking there's a hot ass dude, you know, you know, the guy's like fucking ripped and jacked, right? I don't go home thinking, oh shit, I wish I looked like that. I'm just like, yo, that guy's buff. I don't want to piss him off, you know? There's no like self-esteem issue for me that happens.